this power. We can never allow the progressives on the right to gain power to this system, because they'll use this system and they will become just as bad. We have to dismantle the power and return it to the individual as it is supposed to be. And as you think that you're maybe behind the eight ball and there's no way to win here, I've been telling you that there is something happening, and that I've been feeling it for the last year, that it's falling apart because they've overplayed their hand, and people are waking up and they're saying, wait a minute, that's not me. That's not what I believe. And there are people on the left. And if you find yourself with strange bedfellows, this is how you know you're right. When you find yourself standing next to somebody and saying, holy cow, they're right, and I never thought I would say that about that individual, that's when you know you're on the right track.
That has happened today with Andrew Sullivan.
And I want you to know, when you come into these positions, you can either choose to be what people on the extremes of each side are being like, or you can actually be a better human being and say, yeah, I may disagree with them on a lot of things, but on this one, they're right, and I am standing. I'm not going to make a path around them. I'm going to stand right with them. And I might walk away from them on the very next sentence that they say, but on this sentence, on this position, I stand with them. Andrew Sullivan and, is it Salon? Or no, it's Slate.
Slate, yeah.
Andrew Sullivan and Slate, not people I generally find myself in agreement with. I want to share, let's start with Andrew Sullivan first.
Andrew Sullivan, who is a very well-known, he's certainly not a conservative, first of all. This is the guy who was trolling the Trig Truther stuff around the Sarah Palin time. That's how far this guy goes. And he's a very openly gay, noted gay marriage activist, blah, blah, blah. He writes, the guy had the gall, talking about the Mozilla CEO, the guy had the gall to express his First Amendment rights in favor of Prop 8 in California by donating $1,000. He's just been scalped by some gay activists. Will he now be forced to walk through the streets in shame? Why not the stocks? The whole episode disgusts me, as it disgust anyone interested in a tolerant and diverse society. If this is the gay rights movement today, hounding our opponents with fanaticism, fanaticism more like the religious right than anyone else, then count me out. If we are about intimidating the free speech of others, we are no better than the anti-gay bullies who came before us.
Amen. Amen.
That's great.
Amen. Andrew Sullivan, amen. I commend you. We don't agree on very much, I'm sure. You'll probably think that I'm the stereotype that you make for religious people. You probably, lump a lot of people that don't belong there. And that's, I hope someday that we'll be able to have a conversation on that, so you can see that not all religious people, in fact, most religious people are not like that. But amen on this, brother. Amen. I stand with you.
I mean, keeps going too. He did not. This guy did not understand. In order to be a CEO of a company, you have to renounce your heresy. There is only one permissible opinion at Mozilla, and all dissidents must be purged.
Yes.
Yup, that's left liberal tolerance in a nutshell.
It's not liberal. No, Andrew, understand this. This is not liberal. I can live next door to a liberal. It's progressive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Progressives are communists with patience. That's it. Liberals are fine. I can live next to Ben and Jerry as long as they're not telling me I can't make a certain ice cream or I have to have the Cherry Garcia. Progressives will force you to have it. Liberals should be just as free speech, First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, Seventh, Eighth, all the way along. Mm-hmm. Liberals, as long as they root themselves in the Constitution, we don't have a disagreement with each other. On the fundamental, we can live next door.
It's a mixed bag at Slate. They do have some stories saying the wrong
good
side
for them.
of this.
Yeah,
I mean,
good for Mozilla to take a stand.
One is, if you're against gay marriage, you're a bad CEO. Goes on to say, the notion that your political views shouldn't affect your employment is a persuasive one. Where would we be as a democracy if Republicans were barred from jobs at Democrat-led companies or vice versa? But this is different. Opposing gay marriage in America is not akin to opposing tax hikes or even the war in Afghanistan. It's more akin to opposing interracial marriage. It bespeaks a conviction that some people do not deserve the same basic rights as others.
They are accepting. This is where people get confused, and this is where, I was trying to say to my daughter all that time, honey, listen, you're not hearing my point of view. My point of view, first of all, at the time, I was more liberal than the president was. So how was I a hater? Second of all, my point of view, and I think the winning point of view, the right point of view, is what does government have to do with any of this? Why are we arguing about this? If your church wants to marry gay people, you can marry gay people. You want to marry straight people, marry straight people. Don't force a church to do one or the other. And the only reason why this matters is because of taxes and government, everything else. Get government out of our lives. When did we stop saying, get the government out of my bedroom? They're beyond the bedroom. They're in the living room, in the kitchen, in the backyard, in the garage, under your hood of your car. They're in your basement. They're in your light bulbs. They're in everything. Get them out. Okay, now let's go to Slate.
This is another story. Purge the bigots. Brendan Eich is just the beginning. Let's oust everyone who donated to the campaign against gay marriage. Goes through and links to the database of every single person, and says, we have a lot of work to do still. Then
7.1 million people who got to lose their jobs.
Yeah, and 35,000 who donated. Then lists all the companies that donated over $10,000 against it. All the tech companies that donated against it. Other donations of DreamWorks, Time Warner, Warner Brothers, Gap, Safeway, Target, Walgreens, Hyundai, Toyota, Delta, Southwest, United, U.S. Postal Service, Yahoo, Xerox, Verizon, Texas Instruments. All these companies had, through their employees, donated up $10,000 or more towards this cause. Goes through the entire thing and really outlines a frightening case. Luckily, it ends this way. But if we're serious about taking down corporate officers who supported Proposition 8 and boycotting employers to promote them, we better get cracking on the rest of the list. Otherwise, perhaps we should put down the pitchforks.
Amen.
How about that? Fortunately, there's still some people who believe in the U.S. Constitution.
Yes. And I contend that they are the majority of Americans, both left and right. I really believe that. We have been taught to quote South Pacific, very, very carefully taught to hate. We have been taught to hate each other and to think the other side is nothing but bigoted, one way or another, on one